We're roughly 24 hours away from Election Day 2024, and all eyes are turning to, once again, polling data, battleground states, national popular vote polls, and we were very blessed to have a fantastic guest on the live show yesterday, right here on the Renegade Nation, Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen. And we talked about a number of different polls and pollsters out there and what are the things to look for. And of course, the topic at one point had to steer towards, well, 538. You remember these guys, 538 and Nate Silver. What has happened to them over the years? The changes that we've seen. And as we had to remind folks last night was this story from back in 2018, where the Walt Disney Company and ABC bought out Nate Silver and 538. So if you're wondering what's going on with some of their polling data, well, we're going to try to help shed some light on that right now.
Can I ask, as a pollster, how often do you think about this picture?
That guy. I don't want to be that guy. He was not a very happy individual. He's also not a pollster. I will say that. Okay. And I will say this
Silver,
to Nate,
folks. Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't, people call him Nate Copper or Nate Plastic or. And I will say this, he founded 538. It got bought out from underneath him. Disney ABC owns it. You guys are quite familiar with what's happening there.
Yeah.
3 weeks after they got rid of him, they came after us to try and kick us out. They came after us with a campaign to pry a lot of information out of us, which I would happily have answered, but I thought it was all a trap. And then they revealed themselves, the ideologue that's in charge of that place, revealed themselves as being politically driven. They weren't happy that we were talking with conservative outlets and that we were polling on taboo issues. And so Nate actually came out and defended us. And I was really happy that he did that, but I think his statistical model is garbage.
So you're saying that the people who were questioning you, was it this was 538 or this was Disney ABC?
So 538, I think it's kind of incestuous now. So ABC bought 538. ABC reports up to Disney. We know the close ties between ABC News and the Democrat Party and the Kamala Harris campaign.
Oh, yeah.
And they hired this guy, G. Elliott Morris, and he had one of his apparatchiks write emails to us. It's like, oh, pretty please tell us more about it. And keep in mind, they own a pollster, right? So disclosure in this case might have been proprietary data. And again, I'm very open and transparent about our methodology. But I kind of blew him off. And then he came out with this really snotty worded, we've posted the letter on our Twitter feed, but it was basically, how dare you communicate with Steve Bannon and Fox News, who are peddling fringe alt-right conspiracy theories, and how are they offering you quid pro quos to poll on their topics, and and so I went on Steve Bannon and called
only
him,
we can do that.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I went on Steve Bannon and called him a scumbag, and then I think he got yelled at by his bosses because it took him another 6 or 9 months to throw us out. And it hasn't hurt our business, and it sure has hurt their accuracy. So,
well, I was going to say, at the end of the day, your best revenge is doing the things that you guys have done the best, and that is to be as accurate as you have been. I think between you guys and I think Atlas and Trafalgar got some good history there, at least in recent years, it seems like.
By the way, can we just all take a moment, just soak it in that week after week after week, we talk about Disney, and here we are gathered together with evidence that Disney is screwing over the polling industry. Like at this point, really, if Disney's not involved in trying to sabotage plumbing across America, I'll be shocked. They're in every possible area of our nation.
It really is. And that's what, look, and it goes to, I'm going to pull this back up here. Here's the national Trump versus Harris, okay? And you're talking about, let's talk about ABC, right? ABC News, the Ipsos poll. This is let's call it the Disney poll. That's what this is. And a lot of folks out there that are regular viewers here on Valiant Renegade and on Pro's channel, readers of that Park Place, the Renegade Nation out there knows the name Dana Walden. And Dana Walden right now, who is effectively, she is the co-chairman of the television and studio system at the Walt Disney Company. The other chairman is Alan Bergman, but Bergman really oversees the movie theaters, or excuse me, the movie studios, pardon me, the Marvels, the Lucasfilms, the Pixars, the Disney Animation. Dana's co-chair to Alan is she oversees television. And of course, one of those things is ABC and ABC News. And we all know, we've talked about this before, Dana Walden, who as of right now is still the most likely candidate to succeed Bob Iger as the next CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Very good old friends with Kamala Harris. They all jog together in that same Brentwood neighborhood and stuff like this, where Bob Iger lives and Dana Walden lives and Harris. I mean, look, so this is all. It's
Dana introduced that genius we just watched with that quote to Kamala, so she's the matchmaker. It
was Dana Walden that introduced Kamala and her current husband. Any case, but Mark, on the polls here, now that we've kind of set up the Disney relationship here, go ahead.
Yeah, so ABC uses the Ipsos panel. Ipsos is a market research firm. The Ipsos panel is a proprietary panel. So they have like community managers, and they have about 50,000 people, which is a pretty small subset of people, but I guess you could say it's pretty large for a panel. But the point is that they're polling the same people over and over again. And just scroll down and filter by Reuters. And I want to show you guys something farther down below the chart. Keep going.
Keep going.
Right? Keep it right there. Filter by pollster.
Okay.
So Reuters uses the same Ipsos panel.
Right.
And filter it by Reuters.
So just click on Reuters.
Click the link.
It's a +1 about halfway.
No, the filter by pollster at the top.
Oh, sorry. Gotcha. Filter by pollster. All right.
Reuters.
There we go. Right
there it is.
Sorry about that.
All right. It goes from the bottom up. Look at these jokers. They started at Trump +1 after the Biden debate, and they got all the way out to Harris +6. And they're all the way back to Harris +1 yet. I haven't seen a final call. I bet you it's going to be tied because that's where the New York Times is at. I bet you. So if you filter by us now.
Yeah, I have a feeling that you guys are going to be a little bit more consistent. Oh, look at that.
2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2. I mean, it's like the race hasn't changed. And it's like people know who Trump is because he's been campaigning for 8 years. People don't care who Kamala Harris is because they can't afford groceries. And their border is being invaded. So that's why they hate us. And again, now they're all not very far from me. I think most well-ranked pollsters are between a tie and where we are at Trump +2 in the national popular vote. But then you look at ABC too, and I just pulled up an ABC crosstab, and I'll tell you, I can just look at these things and say, well, this isn't reflective of America. They have Harris favorability tied at 48-48, but they have Trump favorability at only 37% favorable, but 60% unfavorable. So they give Harris a 23-point favorability advantage. And this is in a poll where ostensibly the Republicans and Democrats are roughly equally sampled. So even the Republicans hate Trump. And then has the personality and temperament to serve effectively. Trump gets a 37%, Harris gets 46%. So all the people in this Ipsos panel, and again, the community managers are like the typical people you'd expect to see, 25 years old out of a good college, pronouns in the bio. And they've built a panel that hates Trump. And that's why they are on the far left bookend of where the polling is. And it's time these liars got called out. We were not as vocal last time around. But I mean, it's pretty clear what they're doing.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.